believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence, and if you have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios.
So there you guys heard it. The CEO of the world's largest hedge fund, BlackRock, coming out and talking about the importance of diversifying into crypto in your portfolio in this inflationary environment. You can't understate the importance of comments like this. Traditional finance asset managers, this guy controls $10 trillion in assets under management at BlackRock. Super bullish for crypto. A ton of crazy stuff, guys, including Tether. Yesterday was Friday. A lot of stuff tends to happen on Friday afternoons, Friday nights, because people aren't paying attention then. They're excited about the weekend. So let's cover all of that really quick. I do have a free Telegram group, so if you like my content and you like talking about current events, join the Telegram in the video description below. It's free. In the future, I might charge money for it, but I just put a lot of information in there, so Telegram in the video description below if you do use that. XRP ranked as the most popular digital asset among institutional investors as of September 18th. And this is a report from Grayscale, who just launched their XRP Trust product. Keep in mind, when Grayscale launched their XRP Bitcoin Trust, or sorry, they're not XRP Bitcoin, their Bitcoin Trust, that ended up turning into, down the road, the Bitcoin ETF. They've now launched the Grayscale XRP Trust, and it's only a matter of time until they transition that product into an ETF. And you can see the popularity with this XRP Trust. As of last week, it's ranking as the most popular cryptocurrency for institutional investors based off Grayscale's metrics. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. This was a great find from Subjective Views. Now, I don't even want to say this on YouTube because I'm scared of censorship. If you guys do use Rumble, I post my same content on Rumble as well as some other stuff that I can't put on this website. But yeah, you can see what he says right here. Tether is a blank operation to sell treasury bills, okay? Normally, how does the U.S. government sell its debt? Countries buy the debt, right? You have Spain, you have Canada, you have Japan. All these countries, they buy treasury bills from the Federal Reserve, and that's how the U.S. government sells their debt. But listen to what Tether is doing. This is very interesting stuff.
Our stable coins and their concept is changing what central banks, what investment banking know about liquidity. I mean, when you look at liquidity models for investment banks, for central banks, to what extent do you think that we need new liquidity models, liquidity strategies to cope with the existence of stable coins?
Well, let me give you the example of USDT, right? Because it's very, very real. So with USDT, we have more than $100 billion in US Treasury bills, in short-term US Treasury bills. Think about China had around $2 trillion 2-3 years ago in US Treasury bills, and now has $700 billion, give or take. A company like Tether, that is a private company, has...
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is the CEO, Paulo Arduino of Tether.
More US Treasury bills holdings compared to UAE itself, compared to Australia and Spain. So
we're talking about countries here.
Exactly. If we are not a country, right? So it's
Did you catch that? I'm going to play that again because that's very important.
Itself compared to Australia and Spain. So
we're talking about countries.
So Tether holds more treasury bills than Spain, more treasury bills than Australia, and it's not a country. This is unprecedented in the U.S. government debt selling. We've never had a decentralized company buying more treasury bills than a country like Spain, a country like Australia.
Exactly. If we are not a country, right? So it's quite interesting how it's turning out. But let's think about what does it mean, right? If the U.S. government sells its debt to counterparties, the biggest counterparties are countries. Countries have a Minister of Finance and they have a committee. They can decide to start selling holdings of USD bills, right? So what Tether does, and not many people think about it, is we have decentralized the ownership and decision making of selling the US debt. We have 350 every time a person in Argentina purchase some USDT, we take that money and we buy T-bills. So we have 350 million. The decision to sell T-bills is decided by 350 million people.
You're not a government.
Yeah, exactly. We are not a government, but also we are just a proxy. Yes. So we are not taking the decision. They are deciding. So it's much, much stronger. So we are helping the US dollar to become stronger, more resilient, more decentralized. It's something that is unprecedented. And
so it's an interesting argument. I've never heard that angle and really comprehended how the US government is selling T-bills for the first time in history to Tether. But it does kind of make an argument to decentralize the dollar. And he's arguing that they're going to stabilize the dollar through this. But if Tether goes down as a company and their backings aren't as accurate as they say they are, that's going to be detrimental to the entire market. And this also came out yesterday. This could be the biggest news we've seen for crypto in a long time. It's Bitcoin related, but Bitcoin knocks the doors down for everything, and then things like XRP can follow. This guy says, without exaggeration, this is the best thing that could have happened to crypto in the second half on the year. We are on the verge of witnessing the most extraordinary upside volume in financial history. It's going to be unbelievably fantastic. And he quote tweets the news that the SEC has approved options for Bitcoin ETFs. He breaks down why this is so important. And if you aren't a trader and you don't understand leverage and perpetual contracts when you trade, this might be a little bit confusing. But in summary, he says, the Bitcoin ETF options market is the first time in the financial world where we will see regulated leverage on a perpetual commodity that is truly supply constrained. So there are ETF options on things like gas, oil, but they're not comparable to Bitcoin because the key difference is most physical commodities have expiration dates, meaning they tend to trade with the futures market, not the spot market. The futures market, unlike spot markets, vary in gross and notional exposure based on these expiration dates, whereas with Bitcoin, there is no expiration date. So this is the first time in the financial world that we've had something like this. And another big piece of news came out coincidentally yesterday. There's something called the SAB 121 accounting rule. And this is the rule that the SEC applies to banks for holding and custodying crypto assets. In BNY Mellon, history is the first custodial bank to receive an exemption from this SAB 121 accounting rule, meaning they can custody crypto assets. During a public testimony during the Wyoming Blockchain Financial and Tech Innovation Week, in Wyoming, if you don't know, is their governor is super pro-crypto. They're trying to make the capital of Wyoming, Cheyenne, a crypto hub. Ripple has a headquarters in Cheyenne, Wyoming, so it's not surprising that they're being this favorable towards crypto. Really quick, guys, if you guys like this content, there's a lot of BS and fluff XRP channels. I try and bring you the most credible, legit crypto news. So if you enjoy that, subscribe and hit that like button. Best way to support is hitting that like button. And just gives me some feedback, lets me know you're enjoying the content, so thank you in advance. BNY Mellon, the largest custodian bank in the U.S., has received an exemption from the SEC's SAB 121 accounting standards for its institutional crypto custody business. BNY Mellon is seeking deeper involvement in crypto custody services. Just like the video at the beginning, Larry Fink, BlackRock's CEO, talking about how Bitcoin is good as an inflationary hedge. The largest custodial bank in America, BNY Mellon, is now exempt from this rule of custodying crypto assets. Guys, it really is coming. And Ripple's legal win may not set broad precedent for other cryptocurrencies. We talked about that a lot, right? XRP is not a crypto security. Now they're coming out and saying that this XRP case was particular circumstances. XRP is different than other cryptocurrencies, and it's good for XRP. If you're a holder of other tokens and you're looking for regulatory clarity through the lawsuit, you might not be getting that. This guy says XRP is programmed. I know this might sound like I'm beating a dead horse. I've been talking about this a lot, but find me another chart in crypto where there's a 7-year-long bull flag. I know it's been taking time. A lot of you might have been holding XRP for a long time, but I'm telling you, nothing's guaranteed, of course. The world could just melt down, but 2025 is going to be exciting gains for XRP. Bitcoin can make you rich, but XRP can create wealth for generations. If you're already a multimillionaire, you just want to hold Bitcoin and double your money, fine. But if you want to 10x, 20x, potentially 50x your returns, you need to be in a coin with more upside, and that's XRP. And this is really interesting. The S&P 500 is now up 40% from its October 27th bottom. This means that the S&P has added 13 trillion of market cap in under 1 year. You didn't think we were in a market bubble, you might think that now. Keep in mind, guys, the Fed cut rates just a few days ago, 50 basis points. The last 2 times they cut 50 basis points, we had massive market crashes. And the S&P is massively inflated. They averaged 58 billion in market cap added each trading day for the last 224 days in a row. Is that crazy? 58 billion added in market cap every single day for 224 consecutive days. That doesn't scream inflation. I don't know what does. Too much money in the market. That's also 4 times the average annual return of the S&P 500. Very scary stuff. And there's this famous tweet of David Schwartz from back in 2017 talking about the price of XRP and why it can't be dirt cheap. He says, it can't be dirt cheap. That doesn't make any sense. If XRP costs $1, they need 1 million XRP, which would cost $1 million. If XRP cost $1 million, they'd need 1 XRP, which again would cost $1 million. This guy responded 8 years later saying, can you all stop surpassing the price of XRP already? David Schwartz came out and he said, I hold XRP. If there was some way I could get the price of XRP to go up, I assure you that I would do it. And what we can learn from this is not one individual player can make XRP go to the moon. I mean, I guess Elon Musk, if he spot market bought $1 billion of XRP, yeah, that would make the price go crazy, but no smart money is going to do that. What causes the price to go up is more and more institutional volume on the XRP ledger, because that will need the price of XRP to be high for these transactions to be seamless and not impact the price of XRP. If I'm sending $10 billion to Japan, I don't want the price of XRP to fluctuate during that transaction to where my $10 billion now costs me $11 billion. The price must be high to be able to facilitate these big transactions. And here is the Standard Chartered Bank CEO saying this next election doesn't matter. Crypto is going to the moon.
The removal of SAB 121, which restricts some US banks' dealings in spot and other custody type issues in the digital asset space. So I suspect that will go. I think it might go anyway under Harris, but almost certainly under Trump. You'd very likely see a change at the top of the SEC. The SEC under Gary Gensler has been also very negative on the sector in the last few years, although we did see a little bit of a pare back of that late last week around the security type issue. But that probably would be removed as well. You'll probably see more ETFs relatively quickly. Solana, I would say, would be the most likely third one. So that's probably the big ticket, let's say, regulatory changes. And given what's happening more broadly in other asset markets, I suspect it makes sense to be buying Bitcoin and other digital assets anyway. Specifically, you've now finally started to see the US Treasury curve, albeit very, very slightly, 10-year yields are above 2-year yields for the first time for a number of quarters now, and that's a marginally positive story. Within that as well, you've got inflation expectations up a bit, whereas real yields are down a bit. So again, that should be helping at the margin. And I suspect next month, we'll probably also get a more positive outlook on the ETF inflows to Bitcoin, which have been very, very soft through the summer months. We're about $17 billion so far this year. I suspect those inflows pick up again into the fourth quarter. So each of those.
And you just got to keep in mind, what does the price of XRP do when there's not a lawsuit when Bitcoin goes to 200K? In the last bull run when Bitcoin hit all-time highs, altcoins lagged a little bit behind, but then they all exploded. Now we don't have a lawsuit. This last bull run, XRP was suppressed. It would have hit all-time highs if it wasn't slammed with that lawsuit during the peak of the bull run. This next coming bull run when XRP is not restricted, when Bitcoin goes to 150, 250K, XRP is guaranteed over $1, potentially double digits, and that's not hyperbole. And if you guys made it this far in the video, I want you to comment XRP in the comment section below. When you watch the full video, it really supports the channel, so let me know you're a loyal viewer by commenting XRP. I do appreciate you. I don't take you guys for granted. Without this channel, without the audience, this channel is nothing. So I want to leave you with this clip right here, talking about the Internet of Value. Digital Asset Investor says it's not a coincidence how they never mention XRP. Chris Larson literally coined the phrase Internet of Value.
So what's the analogy of that to the next wave of the internet? Well, the next wave of the internet, the one that's upon us now, the one that is crypto, is an internet of value. And once again, it's about key protocols, but this time the protocols are BTC for Bitcoin and ETH for Ethereum and Solana and Cardano and USDC. Those are the protocols that are allowing value to be networked and accessed by ordinary people. And that's the significance of the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper. The first protocol, not too different than HTML, not too different than Bluetooth, to allow value to be put on digital networks. So what's the analogy of that?